Hey everyone, welcome to True Crime Cases, where today we delve into a chilling case. In April 2015, Leeton, a small town in New South Wales, Australia, was struck by a devastating event. The community was paralyzed by grief as they mourned the loss of Stephanie Scott, a cherished member of their tight-knit society. Businesses closed their doors, and the local high school halted classes as residents grappled with the enormity of their loss. Stephanie Scott, a vibrant individual at the age of 26, radiated kindness, intelligence, and a constant smile. Since her early years, she was recognized for her curious mind and active involvement in school activities and sports. Following in her father Robert's footsteps, Stephanie embarked on a career in education, teaching English and drama at Leeton High School, where she found great fulfillment in her profession. Stephanie and Aaron, who was a bit younger, had known each other since childhood. They shared common interests, engaged in sports together, and developed a strong friendship that eventually blossomed into romance when Aaron reached the age of 21. As April of 2015 approached, Stephanie and Aaron were deeply engaged in planning their upcoming wedding, scheduled for the 11th. With meticulous attention to detail, Stephanie had meticulously organized every aspect of the ceremony. With arrangements finalized and a honeymoon destination booked, she had recently enjoyed her bachelorette party. The final task remaining for Stephanie and Aaron was to rehearse their meticulously practiced first dance, a culmination of many lessons taken together. As the first weekend of April arrived, anticipation for their impending wedding heightened. Aaron extended an invitation to Stephanie to join him at a party out of town, but she declined, opting instead to focus on completing remaining tasks, including finalizing plans for her students during her absence over the Easter weekend. On April 5, 2015, around 11 a.m., Stephanie Scott headed to Leeton High School in New South Wales to deliver some work to a deputy teacher. Parking her car on the street, she made her way to meet a colleague who lived nearby. Together, they unlocked the school gates and proceeded inside. Stephanie then secured the gates behind them and, with keys in hand, made her way to the English teacher's office. There, she attended to various tasks, including sending an email to a bus company to confirm transportation arrangements for her wedding guests. Feeling a sense of accomplishment as she completed her work, Stephanie left the administrative building after a couple of hours and headed towards the gates. Meanwhile, Aaron, aware of Stephanie's departure and her anticipated absence for a few hours, grew increasingly concerned as the evening approached. He had exchanged texts with her the day before, receiving prompt replies. However, on April 5th, his attempts to reach her went unanswered. Upon returning home after 7 p.m., Aaron discovered Stephanie still hadn't returned, and her car was missing from its usual spot on the street. Wrestling with anxiety, he reasoned that perhaps the stress of the upcoming wedding and leaving her students had overwhelmed Stephanie, prompting her to seek some solitude. However, such an abrupt silence contradicted Stephanie's usual demeanor. Despite the whirlwind of wedding planning, Stephanie had been thoroughly enjoying herself, enthusiastically sharing every detail about her dress and the wedding menu. She didn't exhibit any signs of nervousness or sadness, but rather radiated excitement and readiness for her big day. As Aaron's concern escalated and sleep evaded him, he reached out to Stephanie once more in the morning before contacting her family. With over a day passing since Stephanie's disappearance, Aaron went to the Leeton police station to report his missing fiancée. Upon inspecting the vicinity and noting the absence of Stephanie's car, authorities speculated that she might have left the school and encountered an accident, possibly getting stuck in a ditch or creek. Helicopters were deployed to search the area, while ground police focused on the last known location of Stephanie, Leeton High School. Due to it being Easter Sunday and the limited number of people at the school, there were few witnesses, complicating the police investigation but also narrowing down the list of potential suspects. An examination of the school's alarm system and Stephanie's classroom revealed that she had deactivated it at 1:30 p.m. and reactivated it at 1:38 p.m., providing authorities with a precise time frame of her presence nearby. However, this was the only detail they could ascertain. Detectives attempted to utilize phone tracking, but Stephanie's mobile phone was turned off. The last activities on her bank accounts or social media were recorded on Saturday, April 4th. By April 7th, local news broadcasts began covering the story, prompting hundreds in the small community to eagerly seek any information about Stephanie's whereabouts. However, such behavior was entirely out of character for Stephanie. As each day passed, hope for her safe return waned, leaving Stephanie's mother, Marilyn, fraught with fear. She voiced her concerns, expressing that if her daughter wasn't located within the next few hours, it likely meant something dreadful had transpired. A local journalist from Leeton reported that authorities had recommenced their search of the school premises. Using digital mapping technology, they meticulously combed through the school grounds, with particular focus on the room where Stephanie had last been seen on the day of her disappearance. A witness near Leeton High School on Easter Sunday recalled hearing peculiar sounds around 2 p.m., including rustling and dragging noises. He also remembered spotting Stephanie's car parked beneath a covered walkway, though he didn't pay much attention at the time. Later, the car had vanished. Another witness, a school staff member, recounted an unsettling encounter with one of the school's cleaners the morning after Stephanie vanished. Amidst the swirling rumors and anxieties surrounding Stephanie's disappearance, the witness inquired about the cleaner's last interaction with Stephanie. The cleaner nervously replied that he hadn't seen her on the day she went missing. When asked about Stephanie's possible stress over her impending wedding, the cleaner bizarrely laughed, leaving the witness feeling unsettled. Moreover, the witness noticed scratches on the cleaner's face, adding to the suspicions. Prompted by these developments, the authorities decided to question the cleaner, identified as 24-year-old Vincent Stanford, for additional information. Detectives engaged in a brief conversation with Vincent, during which he claimed to have stopped by the school to dispose of the garbage bins. Despite not having a scheduled shift that day, Vincent asserted that he had made a brief stop at the school due to an urgent need to buy groceries. He maintained that he had not encountered Stephanie during his visit and offered well wishes to the investigators in their search efforts. Vincent claimed to have left the school after 3 p.m. to head to the store where he usually shopped. However, upon verifying with the store, the police learned it had been closed on the specified date. This inconsistency cast doubt on Vincent's credibility, leading to increased suspicion and making him a primary suspect in the investigation. Investigators proceeded to conduct a thorough interrogation of Vincent at his residence, where he lived with his mother. Although Vincent was not present upon their arrival, his mother granted permission for the police to search the house. During the search, a set of keys attached to a red and white cord, matching the description of Stephanie Scott's keys, was discovered. As the police collected evidence, Vincent returned in his car and was promptly taken into custody, with his vehicle impounded for further examination. Upon inspecting the vehicle, several MDF panels seemingly stained with blood were found in the back seat. Additionally, tire tracks in front of the house did not align with Vincent's vehicle, heightening suspicions. Furthermore, a used condom was discovered on the ground, with its wrapper located in the bedroom. When questioned about his whereabouts on the day of Stephanie's disappearance, Vincent gestured toward a camera on the front passenger seat, claiming he had been taking photographs. Detectives requested permission to view the camera, to which Vincent agreed with a shrug. Upon examination of the camera, the first image encountered by the investigators was a photograph depicting the charred remains of a woman's corpse lying in a wooded area. Vincent attempted to dismiss it as images from a movie he had filmed, purportedly finding them humorous. However, his explanation only served to deepen the investigators' suspicions. Upon further investigation, law enforcement discovered that the disturbing images found on Vincent Stanford's electronic devices were indeed authentic crime scene photographs, with Stephanie as the victim. Vincent, employed as a janitor at Leeton High School, was promptly apprehended. His confiscated devices revealed numerous images of young girls, some from Leeton High School and the internet, alongside pictures of women he had evidently been stalking. This revelation painted a disturbing picture of his behavior. While Stephanie's remains had not yet been located, Vincent was charged with her murder on April 9th. News of his arrest quickly spread. During this period, A search team located Stephanie's vehicle abandoned in a remote area 8 kilometers from where she was last seen. However, her body remained missing, prompting a continued search effort. Detectives diligently worked to identify the location depicted in the photos featuring Stephanie's body. On April 17th, 5 days after Stephanie was last seen, another witness reported seeing a car near a canal around 4 p.m. on Easter Sunday. The witness observed a man exiting the vehicle and discarding an object resembling a laptop into the water before driving away. The police subsequently retrieved the laptop from the canal bed, confirming it belonged to Stephanie. Meanwhile, divers continued their search for the slain schoolteacher's body in the New South Wales River area. In a live broadcast, reporter Natalie Cooper discussed the ongoing search for Stephanie's body, emphasizing that the 26-year-old schoolteacher remained missing. The community was deeply saddened, regardless of personal acquaintance with Stephanie. The previous night, her family and fiancé visited a shrine near the site, lighting candles and offering prayers as they sought comfort in their grief. Cooper also highlighted the police's urgent search for any sightings of a white vehicle believed to be owned by Vincent Stanford, the murder suspect. Meanwhile, in custody, Vincent voluntarily approached the police, requesting to speak with them. He disclosed all the details to the detectives, including information on where to find Stephanie's body. According to Vincent's account, on the day of the incident, Stephanie was working in the upstairs teacher's room with the door to her office open. Vincent, while cleaning garbage bins, noticed Stephanie. He confessed to experiencing a sudden urge to harm her and quickly returned home to retrieve his sinister kit, which included handcuffs, Viagra, a knife, and cleaning supplies. He also searched online for information about domestic violence cases involving brides returning from trips. Afterward, he encountered Stephanie as she was preparing to leave. As she passed by him, she greeted him with a smile, wishing him a happy Easter. That's when Vincent abruptly seized her and forcibly took her into a storeroom. Detectives reminded him of the scratches on his face they noticed during their first encounter and asked about their origin. It turned out some scratches were from Stephanie's microphone, while others were from her nails as she resisted his attack. Vincent described how he grabbed Stephanie from behind, covering her mouth with his right hand and restraining her waist with his left hand before taking her to the storeroom. He shut the door and violently threw her to the ground, assaulting her from left to right. After the assault, Vincent used a knife to end her life. He admitted to feeling compelled to do so, confessing to harboring many violent thoughts and having previously taken the lives of others. He speculated about having some psychological issues, clarifying that he didn't harbor hatred toward his victims, but simply enjoyed the act of killing. Vincent then recalled feeling hungry and decided to return home for a sandwich and coffee, leaving Stephanie lying alone on the storeroom floor. He went to his car, ate, and then returned to the school, placed Stephanie's body in the trunk of her car, and drove to his home, parking the car on the street. On Easter Monday, Vincent drove Stephanie's car with her body to a national park. There, he removed her body from the trunk and laid it on the ground. Observing many bruises and abrasions on Stephanie's face, including swelling on the right side and a bruise under her eye, he decided to cover the body with branches and douse it with gasoline. He used a match to ignite the fire, which he discarded nearby. Vincent stayed briefly, taking several photos of Stephanie's body with his camera, then waited 5 minutes to ensure the fire was well lit before leaving. He abandoned Stephanie's car on a secluded country road and walked back to town. In response to detectives' questions about the brutal treatment of Stephanie, Vincent continued to deny such actions, although the officers knew it to be untrue. As a result, he faced additional charges of aggravated harm and physical injury to a woman. Investigators inquired about the undressed state of the woman in the photographs, with Vincent explaining that he usually removes almost everything except the bra. He wasn't sure why he did this, possibly wanting a souvenir. He admitted to taking Stephanie's bra. Regarding her earrings and wedding ring, Vincent claimed he didn't remember when he removed them from the woman but likely threw them in a trash bin along with other items. In reality, Vincent had removed Stephanie's wedding and graduation rings and sent them to his twin brother Marcus, who lived in Adelaide. Marcus had sold the rings and earrings at a jewelry store, then destroyed Stephanie's driver's license after taking a photograph of it. A 24-year-old man was taken into custody at his residence in the Adelaide Hills around 7 a.m., leaving neighbors astounded that the next chapter in a nationally gripping murder case unfolded right on their doorstep. Marcus Vincent's identical twin worked on a flower farm. His co-workers described him as exceedingly reserved, hardly engaging with them beyond work-related matters. During the trial, Marcus Stanford opted not to have legal representation, and when the judge asked if there were any grounds for him not to be detained, he replied in a strong Dutch accent that he had never been there and had no need to go. Nonetheless, the following morning, he was escorted to Sydney by police and remained in custody. Stephanie's family was further devastated when the police announced a second arrest in Stephanie's case, Vincent's twin brother Marcus. In fact, while Vincent was still providing his confession, the police had already discovered Stephanie's charred remains in a national park 60 miles from Leeton Middle School, just a day before her scheduled wedding. A meticulous investigation unveiled the horrifying details of Stephanie's demise. She had been brutally beaten on the head, with a total of 40 blows, leading to her death. Additionally, she had been stabbed in the neck before her body was discarded and set ablaze. Photographs found on Vincent's phone conclusively confirmed that they were of Stephanie. Vincent Stanford's culpability was indisputable, and both he and his brother Marcus were brought to trial. Initially, Vincent denied his involvement, injecting uncertainty into the proceedings. However, based on the presented evidence and police work, it was determined that the case could lead to a conviction. Psychological assessments suggested that Vincent exhibited traits of a serial killer, posing a significant danger due to his lack of empathy and emotions. At age 7, he harbored fantasies of committing murder, and at 12, he nearly strangled his teacher. Classmates labeled him a psychopath, and due to his issues with violence and defiance, he was sent to a behavior correctional school. Vincent recounted to the police that after being discharged, he attempted to enroll in university or enlist in the army but was rejected on both occasions. Consequently, he worked at various jobs before securing a position as a cleaner at Leeton Middle School. Although his initial contract was for 5 weeks, it was later extended. While employed at the school, he often lurked in the women's restroom during student lunch breaks to observe them. Examination of Vincent's mobile phone revealed that he stalked girls at the school and 2 other women working in nearby shops before targeting Stephanie. Numerous photos of one young girl, totaling about 2,000, were found on his phone. He also maintained diary entries about her, noting times when she was alone and attempting to ascertain who else was present in her home. Although his initial focus was on this young girl, his attention shifted to Stephanie, who worked at the school, when his plan failed due to her leaving town. Upon meticulous examination of Vincent's vehicle, stains on MDF panels confirmed the presence of Stephanie's DNA. Additionally, during a search of the Stanford home, investigators discovered traces of Stephanie's blood on a knife, several condom packets, and her bra. After confessing to selling Stephanie's rings, destroying evidence, and aiding Vincent in concealing facts, Vincent's twin brother Marcus was sentenced to 15 months in prison. The judge noted that Marcus's sentence did not allow for early parole, as such a practice did not exist. Marcus was handed a 1-year and 3-month prison term for his involvement in Stephanie Scott's murder, with the sentence set to conclude on September 9, 2016. Had Marcus not pleaded guilty, he would have received a 1-year and 8-month sentence. Marcus was released in October 2016. Following his release from prison, Marcus briefly returned to Leeton accompanied by his mother. However, the local community made it clear that his presence was unwelcome, and his current whereabouts remain undisclosed. Marcus has expressed regret for his actions since his release, vowing not to cause any further trouble and admitting his actions were truly foolish. On the day before what would have been Stephanie's 28th birthday, Vincent Stanford was sentenced to life imprisonment for murder and 15 years for sexual violence under aggravating circumstances, with both sentences effective from April 8, 2015. During the trial, Stephanie's mother, Marilyn, remarked that Vincent was unable to cope with his own life and thus took Stephanie's, depriving her of a chance at a happy future. The family will never fully grasp their daughter's suffering, but the knowledge that she endured such pain is unbearable. Following Stephanie's loss, Aaron relocated to Europe in hopes of healing the pain associated with New South Wales. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay informed. We've got a lot of shocking stories lined up for you.